The news that the biographical film about Michael Jackson, currently in production, will be released in 2 parts has started to spread. The film's runtime is nearly 4 hours, making it difficult to present in one piece, which seems to have pushed the producers toward the idea of splitting it into 2 parts. This extended length is likely due to the effort to condense Michael Jackson's sensational 50-year life story into a single film. Michael Jackson's life cannot fit into a single film. So, could this decision have been made for his return? I know you're excited. Sit back and keep watching until the end of the video. The production schedule for the Michael film was initially moving quite fast, with the first planned release date set for April 18, 2025. It was announced that the filming was completed in May 2023 and the post-production process had begun. However, this April 2025 date was later revised and pushed to October 3, 2025. Once the idea of releasing the film in 2 parts emerged, it seems the October 3, 2025 target date was also reconsidered. Although there has been no official statement yet, insider information suggests that Michael is likely not going to be released in 2025. Presenting the film in 2 parts began to emerge as a way to allow for a more comprehensive storytelling approach, enabling the important turning points of Jackson's life to be covered without omission. So far, neither Lionsgate Studio nor the film's producers have made an official and definitive statement that the film will be split into 2 parts. The information that has emerged is based on credible film news sources and industry reports. For example, Hollywood publications like Deadline and Variety have reported that sources from the studio have considered this option. The fact that the film was not mentioned at all during the CinemaCon promotional event held at the end of April 2025 and no footage was shown was the first indication that these claims might be true. Normally, Lionsgate's presentation at the 2024 CinemaCon would have prominently featured the project, but since it was completely ignored during the 2025 session, the question arose, is the release plan changing? This shows that the 2-part decision has not yet received official approval, but it is seriously being considered. It has been emphasized that such a major format change would require the approval of the studio management and the Michael Jackson estate, meaning that uncertainty will continue until the process is finalized. In short, the film's extremely long initial cut and the sensitive elements of the story, particularly in the final part, are the main reasons behind the decision to split it into 2 parts. However, the decision to split the film into 2 parts is still a topic under discussion among the production team and the studio, and it has not been officially announced, though credible information from the industry suggests that this possibility is strong. Considering Lionsgate's current schedule, the 2 parts of the film are expected to be released sequentially in 2026. Currently, the script being discussed behind the scenes is that the first part will be released at some point in 2026, likely around mid-year, with the second part also being released before the end of 2026. Once the news of the film being split into 2 parts surfaced, fans and general viewers started intense discussions on social media about the matter. Reactions have been mixed, with different perspectives. For example, many people are excited about Michael Jackson's life being told in 2 films, while some think it's unnecessary. Some fans believe that 1 film would suffice, and splitting it into 2 parts seems like a commercial move. Other users, however, emphasize that it is impossible to condense a massive career spanning 50 years into a single film, stating, "Considering MJ's life and legacy, a 2-part film makes sense. So much history and so many events can't fit into just 2 hours." In fact, some comments expressed a positive attitude, saying, "If any biography deserves 2 parts, it's the King's life." So, what would your opinion be if this situation were officially announced? Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Some industry writers, like Roger Friedman, have taken a more optimistic view of the idea of splitting the film into 2 parts. Friedman argued that a star as big as MJ deserves more attention, claiming that this move would actually serve Jackson's legacy positively. Yes, fitting the life of a star like Michael into a single film is very difficult. But could the idea of splitting it into two parts, which wasn't part of the original plan, be solely for this reason? If we think Michael might return with this film, could this be a strategy for his comeback? Some fans and commentators see this film as a move that sets the stage for Michael Jackson to return to the stage in some way, or at least as part of a plan to revive the Jackson brand. My channel followers know that I previously made a video about this and shared conversations I had with someone from the film crew. The person from the crew hinted that Michael could return with this film. You can also watch that video. The Michael film is an extensive biographical project aiming to cover Michael Jackson's life from his childhood years until his death in 2009. According to the official synopsis, the film will follow Jackson's life and career, starting from the late 1960s and early 1970s with the Jackson 5, through to the final weeks before his death in 2009. The producers state that the film aims to explore previously untold aspects of Michael Jackson's life and to uncover all facets of Michael's life. This statement indicates that the story will not only cover his successes, but also the challenges and controversies he faced. Indeed, the information that has leaked to the press shows that the film will touch upon almost every important turning point in Michael Jackson's life. Undoubtedly, there are numerous claims related to Michael Jackson's life. We are curious if there will be hidden or explicit messages about these claims in the film. However, this was also the case with Elvis Presley. Even though allegations related to Elvis continued after his official death date, they were not addressed in his biographical film. But if you've watched the Elvis film, you'll see at the end that the moment of his death comes when Elvis has no choice but to escape from the producers who were exploiting him for money. To me, that was a subtle message. Returning to the Michael film, the most speculative but intriguing question is whether Michael Jackson himself will somehow make a comeback. Of course, this is seen as a miraculous scenario that has not been officially supported and is not likely to happen. If the splitting of the Michael film is truly a strategy to set the stage for Michael Jackson's return, it would make for an intriguing plan where the first part creates a closure and the second part presents a narrative focused on the comeback. In other words, the first part would cover his childhood years to his official death in 2009, and in the final scene, there could be a hint that Michael is still alive. So, viewers of this part could face his death with a certain mourning and emotional conclusion. However, in the final minutes, the film could leave Michael's last moments in a sense of uncertainty. Perhaps a clue could be left. Michael's legacy still living after his death, or an even deeper surprise. Fans would begin to imagine the possibility of Michael Jackson coming back after his death. This could be powerfully conveyed, especially in a post-credits scene. For example, in the final scene, there could be a subtle message or sign suggesting that Jackson didn't actually die, perhaps a teaser for a new concert project, or symbols like stage costumes being redesigned could leave viewers with lingering questions. The second film would be the death hoax section we've all been waiting for and dreaming about. In other words, it would cover all the disguises Michael used after 2009 and the struggles he went through, with the final showing Michael making a return. This kind of production decision could create a huge impact for both fans and the media. Making such a comeback-themed film years after Michael Jackson's death would send ripples around the world and transform the already highly anticipated film project into a global sensation. If this theory is correct, splitting the film into two parts makes perfect sense in terms of highlighting the comeback theme. My conversations with someone from the film crew support this comeback theory. Make sure to watch it. So, what do you think? If the film is split into two parts, do you think it would be seen as a commercial move or a necessity? Or could this really be a sign of Michael Jackson's return? I'm looking forward to your comment. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel.
We embraced, and that embrace never ended throughout our whole entire friendship.